Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, family members, teachers, and everyone else in the audience. On behalf of the entire graduating class of 2011, it would be our honor to call upon our graduation speaker, Mr. Riley. Thank you very much.
Mr. Toes, Board of Directors, teachers, parents and families, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2011, thank you for this wonderful opportunity to speak on behalf of the faculty. It is a great honour. You may have detected a slight accent. In case you hadn't noticed, I am Scottish. Interestingly, last year's faculty speaker, Mr. Birchnell, was also Scottish. What is it about us Scots that the graduating class so identifies with? I think it must be our famously relaxed and diplomatic approach to problem solving and confrontation management. Actually, maybe that's just me. Okay, let's go back in time. As freshmen, the class of 2011 were recognised as having huge potential. Through all of the bad hair and unplucked eyebrows, mostly on the boys, we, as a faculty, recognised something in them that was exciting, very exciting, especially in the area of performing arts. And if you managed to see Danceco's IASIS Performance Spectra, a proud day for the physics department in this school, or enjoyed this year's amazing student-devised school play, or even just attended last week's Senior Celeb, you'll have seen evidence that there will be some big shoes to fill in the Performing Arts Department next year. Good luck, Miss Close, you will need it. The International School of Manila sets very high standards for our students. We expect commitment to the most challenging academic courses available, with acceptance to the best academic institutions in the world. We expect our students to care about their environment, to make a difference through our service learning programme. We expect our students to show respect to one another and embrace the diversity within our community. We expect multiple seasoned athletes who withhold the highest standards of sportsmanship. We expect astonishing, committed and talented performing arts students. So not a lot, really. We, as faculty, have these expectations for all of our students. But with the class of 2011, we took these expectations and we raised them to the top. So how did the class of 2011 cope with the high expectations that were placed on their shoulders? Let's remember their slogan as a junior class. Not so much a slogan as a statement of intent. They quoted a famous French philosopher, Le Daft Punk. Harder, better, faster, stronger. Our work is never over. For the class of 2011, this motto is perfect. It reflects their pride, their audacity, and importantly, their commitment, ambition, and togetherness. I will break this statement into two sections to explain it. If only I could use Newton's laws or maybe a graph to prove its perfection, but alas, no. The first part, in saying harder, better, faster, stronger, they meant we will take on anything and anyone because we are the best. If you need a job done, if you need something organised, if there is a challenge that needs to be met, we will take it on. There is nothing we can't do. To some, this sentiment may come across as a tiny smidge arrogant. But they weren't being arrogant. The class of 2011 were confident and committed. They wholeheartedly accepted the gauntlet that had been thrown down by the teachers, by their peers, by college admission boards, and within the larger school community. Here is a slightly silly example close to my heart. In grade 11, they set themselves a target. They wanted to win Battle of the Bearcats. Fine, if you're in a competition, you might as well play to win, preferably with style. If you could have witnessed the tactical discussions between the council and the grade, you would have been so impressed, slightly horrified, but mostly impressed. I quote, "Let's put our best people on cake decorating." We can totally take that from the seniors. Or ultimate frisbee. Oh, the sophomores are really good at frisbee. We are going to get destroyed. The council will have to take one for the team and leave the best athletes fresh for rugby and football. Resources strategically placed around the school with one aim: to win Battle of the Bearcats. And they succeeded. Well, in my eyes, anyway. Between taking part in frosting and frisbee contests, more serious challenges were looming. High school is not a game, but it is competitive, and these students have been set many challenges over the last 4 years. They've been asked to perform often conflicting tasks to keep different people with different agendas happy. Between them, they have some wonderful college acceptances, and we as a faculty are confident that there will be some amazing exam results. I'm sure you will agree we should all be very proud of their academic achievements so far. However, if they don't beat the 34-point average set by 2009 and 2010, I will hunt them down individually, one by one. But class of 2011, the fine arts, college acceptances, high grades, they're not the only thing that makes you special. The reason that we as a faculty are so proud of you is because of your commitment to events and causes that were not for the high school game. Which brings me to the second and most resonant part of that slogan. Harder, better, faster, stronger. Our work is never over. Our work is never over. The key word here is our. Our work as a graduating class, our work as a school, our work as a community. Somehow this diversely talented group remained a cohesive unit. That is no small feat and should not be ignored. When the pressure of competing against each other started to take its toll, it could have gone so wrong, but it didn't. Something wonderful happened. The class of 2011 started to show a level of maturity and collegiality that made our faculty very proud. All of a sudden, instead of being jealous when one of their peers got a better grade than they did, or made the cut for that team, or won a position on a council that they desperately wanted, they hugged. Lots of hugging and celebrating. And they cheered, and they supported, and they encouraged. Every single one of them worked hard to find his or her own niche of excellence. They remained supportive and they remained together. All success was to be celebrated, and all efforts were to be applauded. If someone from 2011 was performing, usually dancing for some reason, lots of dancing and singing and more dancing, 2011 would turn up in massive numbers and support their peers. They would cheer every success of the school and cheer louder if 2011 was representing. Every achievement received the same pride and the same spirited response. And if this was not enough, this class does not just cheer dancers and athletes, they also cheer mathletes. Something I appreciate, obviously. If there were community or service events, 2011 would turn up in large numbers and support, because it's important. That's what we do at ISM. That's what 2011 does. Over the last 2 years, so many examples of this come to mind. The response for Typhoon Ondoy, lots of the students sitting on stage right now, collected, organised, performed, obviously, singing and dancing. Why? Because it had to be done. In junior year, the 2011 prom committee arranged the first prom to raise money for our service partners. This will stand as a really important change in the school's culture. The rest of 2011 supported this change. They danced and sang and hugged and danced. This year the prom again was self-funded and again raised money for charity. There was an equally important side effect to this change in the focus of the prom. The 2011 Class Council was the first class council freed from prom fundraising and was therefore able to focus their considerable talents and the grade's resources on their service learning partner, Child Hope. The Class Council has organised 8 Child Hope service events working with street children over the last 2 years and donated huge amounts of supplies. They have never had to worry about support from their classmates. In fact, often they had to turn students away. Recently, we had a first, Comic Relief, initiated by a member of 2011 for the Pakistan Flood Relief Fund. As always, the class of 2011 promoted, supported, performed, singing and dancing and acting and cheering and hugging and dancing. I could go on and on. These events were meaningful and important. They did not happen because the class of 2011 were playing the high school game. They happened because they had to, because our work is never over. Our work as a graduating class, our work as a school, our work as a community. Class of 2011, these shared achievements and memories are what will stay with you in the years to come, because they are what it means to be 2011, to be part of this amazing graduating class. As your advisor, I want to give you one tiny piece of advice. Remember how it feels to do something meaningful, not for the game, not for the victory, but for the greater good, for other people, your friends, family, society. This is the key to everything. It will bring you happiness, I promise. Okay, to finish, we'll go back to that Daft Punk guy, the French philosopher. Graduating class of 2011, you were harder, better, faster, and stronger than all the rest. You have shown you were human after all, but now you're going around the world. Come on, really. So let's celebrate one last time. Okay. Can I now call on stage Mr. Wilfred Utingsu, Mr. David Toes, Mr. William Brown,